Y'all, this is my gluten-free cheese ravioli, but not just any cheese ravioli. This is gluten-free, three cheese, roasted garlic ravioli, and it is so good, you guys, and it's easier than you would think to make. So, let's get started. I'm going to start by roasting the garlic because this takes the longest. And I'm just taking a whole head of garlic. I cut off the top horizontally. I'm adding a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper. And I'm going to fold this up into a nice little tinfoil package. And I'm going to put it in a 375-degree oven for about, I'm going to start with 30 minutes and then I'll check it. I'll just open it up and see. But most of the time, it usually takes about 45. So we'll get that in the oven and just kind of forget about it while we make the pasta dough. If you've never made my pasta dough, this is so simple, you guys. It's just my bread flour blend, tapioca starch, and salt. We whiz it up in the food processor just until combined. Then we add eggs, egg yolks, and a little bit of olive oil. And we blend this until it's kind of crumbly and like wet sand. And then we stream in some water until it forms a dough on top of the blade. Very simple to make. So once it starts riding the blade, be prepared to stop it as soon as it comes together, just like this. And it's going to be tacky, that's what you want. So knead it until it comes together into a nice smooth ball. Put it on the counter wrapped in plastic wrap for about 30 minutes, and we'll go ahead and get our pasta roller ready. If you don't have one of these, you can do this by hand, by the way, but these are such a great gadget to have, especially if you make a lot of pasta. Now this is our well-rested dough that's been allowed to hydrate properly so that it's not as tacky as it was and much easier to work with. So I'm just rolling this out with my rolling pin just to get it a head start to put in my pasta roller. You can, like I said, always do this with your rolling pin if you want. I just love the pasta roller attachment for my KitchenAid. It is a well used gadget in my kitchen, at least, especially when I want to make this pasta. It's so much easier than having to roll it out with a rolling pin. Plus, I really like my pasta on the thin side. So if you like yours really thin, I would definitely invest in one of these rollers. So we started out on setting 1, which is the thickest setting, and I like to kind of let it go and add a little more flour to both sides, and then I fold it because you want to go put it through level 1 at least 2 times, sometimes 3 if it's more jagged. So see, I fold this kind of like a letter and then put it back through level 1 still until it starts smoothing out. Sometimes it needs more than that. And in this case, it does need more than that. It's just not as smooth as I would like it. So I'm flouring it up again and folding it again and putting it back through level 1 one more time at least. I think now we can put it on level 2. So just turn the knob to level 2 and guide it through the rollers. And then once you get it on level 2, you only need to do it once for each of the other levels. So 2 through 5, 6, 7, whatever yours goes up to, only need one time through. It's level 1 that you do it a couple of times. So this is getting pretty long, and I'm just going to take my bench scraper here and just kind of cut it in half just to make it a little more manageable. Plus, it's nice to have 2 pieces anyway when you're making the ravioli. So just stick it back through, changing the knob, the level each time until it's at your preferred thickness. Now, This is pretty see-through, and I think this is on level 4, but I kind of like to go up to level 5 on the KitchenAid just because, like I said, I really like a really thin dough. But let's check it out first and see just how thin it is. So you can see through it. But I'm going to go one level more. Just because, like I said, I love my pasta thin. So one level more is level 5. Put it back through. If you like your pasta really thick on the thick side, then maybe only do it to like 3 or something. There. That's the way I like it. It's really, really thin. And it's very manageable too, as you can see. So we put both sides or both pieces back through on level 5. Okay, so that part is done. So we can just cover this with plastic wrap until we have our filling completely done. This is the roasted garlic. If you've never had roasted garlic, oh, you are in for such a treat. I absolutely love it. I could put it in so many things. It's so easy to do, and it makes such a different outcome than just a real pungent. It kind of mellows out the garlic, and it's just incredible, you guys. So I just squeeze it out into a little bowl, and we'll just put this in the food processor when we make the filling. You don't have to do this with roasted garlic, of course. You could do it with just raw garlic chopped finely, or no garlic at all, or even like garlic salt or garlic powder if you'd rather. I just thought it would give a really good flavor to the cheese filling because there's not a whole lot of other flavor going on here. So I'm adding ricotta to my bowl. And by the way, this is my homemade ricotta, and I'll leave a link for that video. It's so much better than store-bought. And I'm also adding freshly grated Parmesan cheese and mozzarella cheese, as well as salt and pepper and a little bit of nutmeg. And then, of course, the roasted garlic and an egg. And we just blend this up until it's nice and smooth. So good, you guys. So I've put mine in a decorating bag. You can also just use like 2 spoons and dollop it on. You can use a like a gallon size Ziploc bag and then just cut one corner. I just, of course, always have pastry bags in my kitchen, so they're just very simple to load up. And then I'm putting them about 1 inch apart, I would say, about a tablespoon for each of them onto one sheet. And then brush the each area in between each of those dollops of the filling with just a little bit of water. Don't go crazy on the water because then it'll start getting really soggy. But I just brush it very lightly all around each dollop of filling. And then I put the top on, the other layer of pasta dough. And then I'm going to go individually with each one in between and just press until it's nice and sealed. And you try to get as much of the air out as possible. There might be a few little pockets in there, and this pasta dough can actually take it. It's not going to like blow up in the water or anything. Now, I used to have one of those little it was almost like a cookie cutter that was a pasta ravioli maker, and it made round raviolis. But I found this way is just as easy with less mess and less waste, And anything you cut off on this, you can always re-roll it and make more pasta out of it. So now I'm taking my little handy dandy gadget here and I'm cutting in between each one and along the edges. And this one has like a scalloped edge to one side. You don't have to do that by any means. I just like how it looks for the ravioli. And like I said, these cut off edges, you can just, as long as they don't have any filling in them, you can re-roll those scraps and make more pasta. And now we'll put this on a tray that's covered in plastic wrap. And instead of putting them in the fridge where they will likely get extra damp and maybe like soggy and stick together, put them in the freezer and until you're ready to boil. And this is salted water and I've got it boiling and they're going in. These only take a couple minutes because they're fresh pasta for one thing, and also because I rolled mine so thin. If you have a thicker roll on your pasta dough, then you definitely want to go a little bit longer. I kind of use my spider to kind of move them around in the water until I know they're done, and then I use my spider to lift them out and drain them. Now, I like to serve my cheese ravioli with like a red sauce, like my spaghetti sauce, my meat spaghetti sauce, or you can serve them with an Alfredo, like my Alfredo sauce, and I'll leave a link for that below, or just a simple like butter and Parmesan cheese, maybe like some sage or whatever you want. So enjoy.